Hey, you guys, we are in live stream, of course. We're over on Twitch. This is Relish Every Word. This is Maud Maxima. I'm trying to talk her into changing her name to Essentia Maximum because she is the most amazing mod ever. We've started counting up the number of mods, the number of live streams that she's been taking care of lately, and we realized that between that and feeding us streaming people, she actually has a full-time job just with that. And then we're dumping other things on her here soon, like taking over some website work and support in other places. I don't think we're paying her enough, but at any rate, here we are. Briarstone is eating sauerkraut. Where I get to read the chat. For those of you, who are interested in this, please try to come over to the Twitch, because that way you can join in our raid call groups. You can share your points of view in your writing, and that in the back that you're hearing over there, that is sound effects by Bella.
Yeah. She even looked up when you pointed.
She does. I know. She's great.
Who, me?
So this is a writing club. This is an online writing club. We are all here hoping that we can use each other as encouragement to get writing, to start putting the pen on the paper. A lot of us want to be writers, but you know what? Until you've done this, until you actually start typing, we're not writers. We're just people who talk about it, and writers write, and that's the bottom line. So we did have homework this week. Did anybody actually do? And I need to start posting like the day ahead of time, and I meant to do that last night on Facebook, and I forgot. I was out of town a lot, and it was late, crazy, and yesterday was a big day, but I forgot to do that. But I'm posting the homework a day ahead of time, so you can sneak in right at the end. Who did their homework? Who wrote a descriptive paragraph? Did anybody write a descriptive paragraph? And
Moment of truth.
I tried, and that's why I have a story plot.
So something useful came out of it.
And the only thing Briarstone got out of all of that is "We Can Use Each Other" by Ava in 2014.
Of course it was.
Oh, there you go.
Are you surprised?
Craig, Color Slide, did you write something for us this week?
No.
Folks,
Sorry.
Did you? No. Okay. Anybody in the group, in the chat, did someone write a descriptive paragraph this week? No, I didn't either. I've got some other things I can pull out to read. I'll be honest, I didn't either. Again, more overtime work. I'm working on a website, adding like 40 pages, which I'm writing. So I did a lot of writing, but it wasn't, unfortunately, for this. But so if we have nothing, I might read something later. But the point we were going to talk about today, and you guys, several of you actually asked about this, and I even got a few emails through the week kind of from other people saying the same thing. So apparently it's a good place to start. How to start? How do you start writing? If you decide, geez, I'd really love to write something, be it a novel, a short story, a blog, an article for a newspaper, magazine. It really doesn't matter. How do you start? What do you do? And I got that question several times, so I figured it might not be a bad idea. Start at the beginning. Go figure, right?
What a weird place to start.
So, you're going to hear. I made notes. Yeah. See, I was in the road a lot yesterday, and I used, just pages and pages of notes for you guys. Two things you hear all the time when you're going to read a writing book, or you're going to, you read interviews from authors, and I find it really freaking annoying. They will say, write what you know and be original. Well, if I had any idea what that meant, I'd be a writer, right? So, okay, no, stop, wait, start over. I arrived. You haven't missed anything. Ava came in where you missed is me like making noise. Not about the writing. We are going to start. You can't see that at all because of the light. How to start writing.
There's words on it, I swear.
There are words on it. We have many, many words on it. So we're just going to talk about how to start writing. And as I was saying, and maybe you caught this or you didn't, whether it's a book, a short story, an article for a magazine, a blog, an online article of some sort, it really doesn't make any difference. Where do you start? And two things you always hear is write what you know. And if you're 15, you might be going, what the hell do I know? I mean, seriously, what do I know? And be original. It's like, okay. So we're going to talk about those two things. First of all, writing what you know doesn't mean you have to have a PhD. It doesn't mean you have to be, you know, in your 50s. It doesn't mean, although that helps, let me tell you. It doesn't mean you have to travel around the world. Maybe you've never left the town you were born and raised in, and that's okay, because you still know, you know your relationships. You know about your family and how things work in between them. You know about people your age. You know how they react at school. You know about your challenges. You know about these things, and you can learn a lot just by watching people, and we're going to talk about that today too. Where you know a bunch, and you can learn a lot. If you want to write about a town you've never been to, guys, we have the internet. You can get books. You can go down to the local store and look through travel books of that area. You can get online. You can see pictures. You can get down at Google street level these days and wander through and just stop and write a description of a building you're seeing. You know, it's easy.
Probably a really good exercise.
I've done that.
You guys should all do that. That's cool.
That's actually, you're right, that's a really good exercise, because it gets you thinking about, now if you're looking at a town, and I actually did this one time to a little town that was on a coast, and I was just describing what I was seeing on that street. And I thought, right, it's on the coast, it's on the ocean. So you have to, you know, think about what you're not able to experience. And of course, the salt air, you know, the sound of seagulls, perhaps dead fish on the beach, you know, the sound of boats coming in and out, or the waves slapping on the shoreline and things like that. So there will be things you can't see, but if you're bright enough to be in here and type and figure out how to learn a computer, you're bright enough to add those. So you know a lot more than you think you know. So you're going to be writing what you know. If you want to write about a mad scientist, though, and you don't know anything about creating rockets to go to the moon, you better do some homework first, because you've got to make it, you know, you don't have to be scientific, but you have to make it sound like it is. You've got to make it believable. You can make up your own science. You can make up your own worlds, your own physics even, but you have to find a way to make it sound authentic. So usually that means learning a little bit about the rules so you know what you're breaking. And so do some homework. That's okay. Yes.
Color Slide is pointing out that apparently Diogo Costa said he does have a paragraph that he wrote. So
oh, then that's awesome.
in case I forget, I wanted to make sure I said it right.
Then we're going to I'll continue with this section, and we'll take a little break in the center there, and you get to read to us. I like that. I like that a lot. That's brilliant. We have somebody who did it. God bless you. Somebody did it.
Somebody.
Our hero. Not the sound of dead fish on the beach. The you know why we're talking about sounds, but then the smell. You got that right. Come on, dude. Now, the idea of being original, well, it's hard. That's actually really hard. I mean, thousands of years ago, the King Solomon is quoted as saying there's nothing new under the sun. And quite frankly, that's pretty much true. There are books who say there are only 20 original plots in the world, and they're all being reused. And there's some that are saying there's only 14. So how do you become original? If you want to write about swords and sorcery, if you want to write about something, you know, a murder mystery, you know, I mean, there's been a bazillion of them. You know, like everything has been killed and caught in some fashion. If you want to write, you know, about gaming, there's a lot of words being kicking around out there. How do you make something original? First of all, the fact that it's come out of your head, hopefully something, you know, new, is going to make some of it original, because it's your point of view, and we've never seen that before. You're writing, and you've never done that before, so we're good. But think of something like, in terms of plots and stories, Little Red Riding Hood. How do you write about Little Red Riding Hood? Come on, it's kind of been done, okay? There's been movies, it's been pulled into a lot of other stories. But you know what? Have we seen stories about the huntsman's point of view from the wolf's point of view? Why was he after some old granny anyway? You know, what was he doing? Little Red Riding Hood, did she have a big sister, a younger sister, a brother? Little Red Riding Hood's aunt. Why was this child allowed to go into the woods alone? And, you know, was there a neighbor? Was there a neighbor that used to watch what was going on all the time? And did they have a part of setting her up? Did they work with the wolf? Was the wolf their pet? I mean, you know, think of the situation and then start looking about what might be around that situation. And writing the story of Little Red Riding Hood's neighbor who owned the wolf I've not heard that story before.
There's that.
You know, so have a so positive day. Dead fish on the beach and everything's been killed in one way or another. It's true. Oh my goodness. Yes, we are petting Bella. She's over here.
I was being asked if I'm typing with one hand.
Yeah, you bet. So, you know, being original means maybe you're just taking something that's been around for a very, very long time and adding a new slant to it. And if you're going to write, you know, fantasy novels, there's a lot of them, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, and after Lord of the Rings, everybody has copied Lord of the Rings.
Pretty much.
There's so many dwarves, there's so many elves, there's so many things. You know, making them new, making them original is going to take a little bit of imagination. And I think we were talking about, you know, fairies that live in the desert, right, instead of, you know, so that makes it original, that makes it new. So look for whatever there, and then, you know, move out from that. And here we come with the dog.
Briarstone, your ideas are always original.
Hey, Yorkie, when I'm walking down beaches, I'm always looking for the little rocky cove where a body could be discovered.
She is. I can vouch for that statement.
All the time. And then, okay, how would it have gotten there? And who would have put it there? And how would it be found? And, you know, who would be suspected of having done it?
Bella,
and
don't knock over the leg.
Yeah, I kind of do.
Yeah.
Kind of do.
Are you searching for the perfect place yourself, yeah?
Well, you know, you never know when...
It's not too personal, but...
You never know when you're going to, you know, you just kind of play with these things, and it's like, oh, I have a book, I have an idea. And I actually, during our vacation in last year in Victoria, I was doing that at one part, and I got the story for a whole book. It was just taking the walk and going, oh my gosh, you could hide it there, but this is like a government facility, and then there's a lot of gardens, there's a lot of people in, and there's volunteers, and a volunteer who's gardening, and then the government, and it would be, oh, and it's like snap, 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 snap. And I had the idea for a book down the road somewhere, so I made notes about it, and maybe someday I'll even get to write it, but you never know where the ideas are going to come from. So
it's just a little creepy to take walks with, because, yeah.
I'm sorry.
She's either in photographer mode and she's taking pictures of everything, or she's in writer mode and she's looking for places to kill people. Yeah,
just a little bit. Okay. Now, so that's, you know, how to get started in being original and sort of like that. Ideas. Where do ideas come from? And you always see people asking, well, where do you get your ideas? Well, you just got one of them. You take a walk and imagine stuff. Go for a walk. Go out this afternoon as soon as the live streaming is over and pick 3 houses in your neighborhood and just make up stories about people. Next time you're at a restaurant, listen. You're on a bus, eavesdrop. You know, see what people are saying. Why would they say that? How could I make a twist on it? What if that meant something big and dramatic? Are they spies? Is this a code? You know, there's just all sorts of ways to and then just start, again, that idea of asking why. If only this could happen. What if that happened? Instead of this, could it have meant that? You know, again, if they're saying there was no one home when I got there, is that a spy code for the safe house has been trashed and empty and everybody's dead? I don't know, you know, whatever. So, you know, instead of this, what's the opposite of that? What's the very opposite that could happen? But then, you know, just find those little tie-in words that force you to think on to take your sentence a little further and to bring it into a new place. So, ideas. Where do you get ideas? I find them pretty easy to get myself. And what catches your attention? Do you love golf? Do you love food? Certain kinds of music? Going to certain places? Or, you know, have you always dreamed of this or dreamed of that? Or if you just if you're walking through the mall, what catches your attention? And then start asking those questions about that stuff. Because if you like it, if you're interested in it, it's going to be a lot easier to write about. Now, if you have found a situation, or sometimes we have characters that we want to write about, or we just want to write about a world, especially like fantasy or something, you might be creating a brand new world. So what kind of people would live in that world? What kind of, or a situation, if it's going to be a murder mystery, or if it's going to be about, you know, the mafia, or it's going to be about people who skateboard, or it's going to be about a bunch of foodies that are at a resort learning to cook some weekend, or what kind of people would be in that situation? What kind of people would be in a place where, you know, drugs would be a problem, or violence would happen, or their children would be kidnapped, or whatever it is you're looking to write about? What kind of people would be in the situation or in the world that you have decided to create? And then what kind of people would never be there? What kind of people you would just never find, but if you do, why would that person suddenly be so far out of their element? What forced them into it? What kind of ideas or actions that happened to them that took them from a spot that was completely alien and moved them into a place where the tension and the drama would be really high for them? Why are they there? So who would be there and who would not be there often is a much better story. Ava Cameron saying, do you really search for ideas as it sounds, or you just let them come? No, I really look for ideas all the time.
She does.
It's just, it has come from something I used to, it's changed from something I used to practice into, it's kind of just part of me now. I'll walk up to work, which I do every day for 5 years, and I will still walk by a house and I'll see somebody doing something outside, or I'll overhear, you know, somebody coming out of their out of their house and getting into their car to leave, and I'll overhear a comment, and I'll start, well, what could that mean other than what it sounds like? Who lives in this house? Why are they moving? Why are they moving in? You know, I'll see a moving truck in a new house, and well, where did they come from? Maybe they came, are they hiding out here? Are they coming here for school or for a new job? What made them leave? What kind of people would do that? And I'm always looking for stuff like that. And it's become just a way of life for me. But no, you got to look for them. There's no such thing, right? I said last week, there's no such thing as writer's block. It's just being lazy or scared. Writer's block means I'm not trying. Take a walk, start asking some questions, okay? So yeah, ideas, they're out there. Let's see, where would that situation ever happened? So yeah, we're talking about, you know, new people being in a situation they would never be in. What actually put them there? How are they going to change by where they are? What kind of skills are they going to have to dig out of themselves to handle this new situation? And you know, characters start to grow and stuff like that. And War 1313, great ideas and getting bogged down in the actual writing. Absolutely. Ideas are easy. Actually putting it on paper is like, oh my God. You know, hey, Yorkie, it's a state of mind sometimes with ideas. As Ava says, one person can walk in the shop, buy milk, and go home. Another can walk in the shop and see things like dead people.
Ava sees dead people everywhere she goes.
Or wonder what kind of situation could lead to that.
Yeah.
So. I don't always see dead people. I just see possibilities. You know?
She sees potential murder scenes.
I kind of do. I do a lot.
She sees crime scenes.
I see crime scenes a lot. Yeah, I see crime scenes all over the place. Yeah, absolutely. So, but even with fantasy things, I mean, I'll look at somebody who's got a different way of walking, or they're dressing a little quirky, or they just say something that surprises me in perhaps how they say it, or a certain lilt to their voice or expression they've used that I've not heard before. And I think about, are they aliens? Did they come from another dimension? Are they part elf? Oh my gosh, maybe they're part of, they're like half spirit world, half this world. And okay, what kind of society would that comment have come from? And I just start, kind of wandering off from there. And see dead people, just ways to make them dead. Occasionally, yeah. Oh, goodness.
There's potential in you to die. Yes, you're almost that. Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But start doing that, guys. If you think you want to be a writer, start look in. You need to be original. So start looking for that new thing. Start looking for something that came right out of your head. And of course, it's going to be based on books you read, and it's going to be based on movies you've seen, and it's going to be on games you've played and things that you like. But when you've put your slant on it, you know, maybe it's Harry Potter. There's been a lot of wizards talked about out there. I mean, there's been a lot of kids' books written. There have been, you know, and there it is. Mm-hmm. Are you an alien? No, I only think it, Yorkie. I only think it. Yeah. So now an idea for a story isn't a story, unfortunately. Ask Briarstone about this one. Briarstone has so many ideas. He can write really, really well, but trying to get that sucker pinned down to a story is... Yeah.
You guys have met Briarstone.
Oh,
you know what
it's
pinning
just,
him down to anything is like.
Oh, no kidding. It's so bad. It's so bad. So that, an idea isn't a story. A character isn't a story. A story,
I know that very well because I'm good at making characters.
And he makes really great characters, comes up with really, really good ideas. So,
and then I sit there and do nothing.
As, you know, you need a story. And what a lot of us do, and it's easy, is we have a character, we have a setting, we have a world, we have a scene in our head that we're so excited about, so madly in love with, and we start to write. And if we're really good at it, or we put a lot of work into it, we can write and write and write and write, and we may get most of a book done. And then all of a sudden we go, oh, hell. We don't know why this has happened to them. We don't know where they've come from. Now we need a new character for something to happen, and we can't figure out how to get them in. And it means going back and rewriting tons and tons of things, or throwing out half the book. And that is so absolutely disheartening that we just never get around to finishing it, or we just go on to something else. And what I am about to say is certainly not the only way to set up a book or get started. But in my very, very limited experience, it certainly works better for me, and it has worked better for most people that I've seen who have used it. Get your story fleshed out first. You're excited. You've got a character you love. You've got a world you love. You've got a situation you're just, oh my goodness, this is it. This is the one. But what is the actual story? Why is the person there? What is going to happen to them? Why is it going to happen to them? How are they going to be changed? What's going to stop them? What's going to encourage them? You know, most novels these days are, and I have to remember to keep my monitor from not going black.
I'm not used to not using it.
Yeah. Most novels are, you know, 80 to 100,000 words, and they're usually in three chunks, you know, like a play. You've got sort of 3 acts, and there's a lot of rules that can be broken, but this is an easy place to start. And you're going to have some sort of climax in that first section, and you know, the first couple of, you know, looking about 350 pages or so. So just say in the first 100, 120 pages, you've got that section. You're setting up the problem. We're getting to know the characters, and there will be some sort of climax. Things are going to escalate. Things are going to get a little bit harder. In the middle part, you know, they're going to be going along thinking that they're solving their whatever the problem is. And I'm not just talking about murder mysteries. I mean, all books are the same thing. You have tension, you have drama, you have a problem, something needs fixing. I mean, that's what the story is. The story isn't the character. If the story, you know, a character lived happily ever after isn't a story, it's just a statement. The story is what's happened to get them to live happily ever after. It's the drama, it's the tension. It's, you know, whatever it is they're fighting or having to deal with. So in the middle, that's going to get, you know, you're going to start solving it. You're going to start figuring you've got a handle on things, and then there's going to be another whammy. You've got to up the tension. You've got to have people reading, you know, continuing on to the end of the book. So there's going to be kind of like a second climax in there. And then toward the end, it's just going to hit the fan. That's where all the big stuff, that's where all the big fights, that's where, you know, the last Lord of the Ring movie, I mean, that was some epic war going on. You know, and Harry Potter, you know, when Dumbledore dies, it's down near the end of that group of stories. Spoiler, if you don't know that by now, you have no business being in my channel. Go home and watch your TV or watch your movies.
Don't you love this? This is a writing group, and she's telling you to watch the movies, not read the books.
They're brilliant, sorry, but they're good. They're good. They're still good. You get pictures in your head. You can get a lot from movies. But hello, sugar babies.
Movies.
So, you're going to have those kind of 3 parts, and think about what will be in each of those 3 parts. Now, I would say a couple of different things at this point. You've got your idea. You know how to put an original slant on it. Now you have to create that story. And I would say write out you can call it a synopsis, you can call it an overview, you can call it whatever you want, but write out at least a page that says, actually, you know what, the first, I tend to write it very small and then expand it and expand it and expand it and expand it until I've actually got a story. But what's got to happen, or what has happened, what's got to happen, how it will get solved. At least start with that. So you've got your 3 bits. This is what has happened, this is what's got to happen, and this is how we're going to end it. Now, if you're like me, and I think this is probably true for most people, the beginning is easy. Okay, we get the idea, we get the character, we get the world we've fallen in love with. The beginning is easy, and we can say, oh, there's going to be a big war, there's going to be whatever. We know how we want it to end. We love these people, we love this world, we love whatever. We know what we want to end. That crap in the middle blows. Okay? that middle part is really, really hard to do. Man, work it out before you get started. You really got to work it out before you get started, because you will probably not finish if you don't. So write out a synopsis that says just a little bit about what's happened, what's going to happen in the middle. You don't have to figure out how yet. You just have to know what must happen, and then how that's going to end. Let's see. Things like as simple as this: girl meets boy, family stops them from being together. They plot to be together. Big tragic ending. That's called Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, okay. You got to be able to do that much, at least before you get started. Beginning is hard, except for the teaser. I mean, the real beginning. The middle, the middle. And see, the thing is, if you know what needs to happen, and here's the thing, and when you write out that first synopsis, and I'm going to say make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Start very small, and then start thinking about, well, how can I expand that first part? How can I expand the middle? How can I expand the end? And when you're writing those things out, just do it chronologically. You're not going to write the book that way, because that would be dull as dishwater, but write it out chronologically. Okay, this guy was married and got divorced, and then he moved over here, and then he found a body, and at the same time you might have like 2 lines going on here, because the guy who got killed, well, he was doing this and he was doing that, and you kind of match up their dates along the way and whatever. Just write it chronologically. Now, you might start the book when he trips over the body, and all the stuff that happened before that is stuff you need to know, because you need to know why they're there, and that will be bits and pieces that you pull your backstory from, and then you're right there in the thick of the tension, and it'll be, oh, what happened? What's going on? Why? And then you move on from there. And if you're, writing a fantasy world where there's going to be a big war, maybe you start with the guy, putting up his sword to, block a blow coming at him, and you don't know why he's in war, and you don't know what side he's on, you don't know anything, but now you want to. Right. So, but write it chronologically. What started the war? How did he join the army? Blah, 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 blah. You need to know who he is. You need to know all his backstory, and just, so write that stuff. Write those 3 parts. Get a big idea, of where it's going and why it's got to get there, because it makes it a whole lot easier. I can never do beginnings, even in essays I write. Everything else, I have a huge blank spot at the top of the page. Then, you know what, maybe that's not where you need to start, Yoros. Maybe whatever is in your head, if you start there, you can always add backstory, you can always change it. Just start where what's in your head. Do that, okay? Just do that, so...
Wicked just said that she just realized the plot she came up with is freaking Romeo and Juliet.
and that's it.
That's one of the stories that gets reused.
That's repeatedly. A classic. I mean, that's an absolute classic. And you can make
There's
it end
wrong with that.
Make it end different. It's West Side Story. It's a lot of things. I mean, they're good stories,
And West Side Story was actually written by a teenager who in school was given a project of modernize Romeo and Juliet, and then who was it? The Hammerstein, I think, went to him, paid him like $500 for it, and it like blew up.
Oh my goodness!
But it was
yeah,
himself
it got worked a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And you're going to find that when you know, when you really take your story and break it down into what it actually is, you're going to go, oh my God, there's been a bazillion stories told like that. And they are. You know, there have been a lot of people around for a long time. You're not going to be adding anything
That
absolutely new.
Yeah, not 100%
no.
original. Yeah.
No.
There are 7 billion people on the planet. Somebody's had a similar thought.
Absolutely. They did. They did. Now, another thing, you know, you've got to know what you're writing. And two things I would, again, it works better for me, and it seems, it's harder than it sounds like, but I think it would be a really good thing long term. Get a title as soon as possible. A title, you can change it. You can come up with something better. But, you know, have a working title, because that, you're going to focus. Every time you hear that title, you know where you're going. You know what you're doing. You know what story you're writing. Get the title in there as quickly as you can. And the second thing, you know, you guys have you ever seen TV guides? I haven't seen one in so many years. I'm making assumptions here that they still do that.
Don't really have a printed TV guide anymore.
No more TV guides.
Actually, they do here.
Okay.
We found at my grocery store.
Okay. And I haven't seen one, and I don't even know. So, but they used to have things called TV guides. It was a little booklet you could get every, you know, before you had the internet, and it would show you all the listings and times and dates. And the movie would have a sentence, because they had very limited space, and they would have a sentence that told you what that thing was about. If you can't get your story down to a sentence, you don't know what your story is yet. Get it, a sentence, guys. One sentence that says this, you know, Romeo and Juliet is the story of two children who fall in love, and because of their family's intervention, you know, leads to tragedy. You got to get the story down. And if you haven't reached that point, you probably don't know what you're writing.
It's the blurb, the tagline, the whatever. Yeah.
So try to get it to that one. Now with the synopsis thing, like I said, if you can just start saying, this is start, you know, this has got to be in the middle, that's got to be at the end, and expand that and expand that. Some synopses can be 30, 40, 50 pages long. They're almost like mini books in themselves. You can, and at some point, and I actually love this part, because when I reach this point, I'm just writing. It becomes really easy. With Triage and another book that I'm working on, I'm actually writing it out scene by scene now. In the first clump, there's going to be this person goes to that house, this person does this person meets up and learns whatever they have to learn from that point. This person, you know, goes over there, and then this big bad thing happens. In the next part, you know, all the different scenes like that, and I've got, you know, 10 pages just listing scenes, and there's just a little tiny blurb about each one of them. But at that point, oh my God, things get exciting at that point. When you've got all that worked out, all you have to do on any given day is pick up a scene and write it. You don't feel like writing about the big battle? Well, don't. Write about the quiet time at home when they're cooking. Write about along the voyage. Write about them learning to ride a horse. Write about them, you know, whatever. You've got it. It doesn't matter. You can write about anything you feel like that day, because it's all going to fit together. And at that point, you just have to worry about getting the sentences right and getting the words and making, you know, making it as good as it can be. So, you know, do the homework first. Start building it. Build it nice and slow, and move on from there. So synopsis and plotting, and that's where you're going to find out if you have a plot, if you have a story. Like I said, the two kids who met and fell in love and got married and never had a problem is going to become a really boring story at some point. And you could say, oh, well, I have a problem. Maybe I have to have the grandmother come and live with them because she's so cranky and puts all kind of stress in their life. Or, you know, maybe they have twin children who are actually evil demons from another dimension, and man, is that going to mess up their life. All of a sudden we got a story. It's like, oh my God, that is so exciting, you know. So you need, you know, write those things out and see if you have a story. And it's a lot easier to find that out when you've just got notes you're making than when you've written that much and printed it out and realized that you've got these great big wonderful pieces and you don't really have any idea what you're going to do with them. So anyway, hey Georgie, great minds think alike. My latest idea is a set of characters And I like to call it doing a Jackie Collins and switching perspectives. I love books like that. Yeah, absolutely. And I think I like those too. I think that's great. It's and we will talk about points of view at some point in all of this stuff that we're doing. So anyway, Wicked Fairy, good point. God, it goes so fast.
Turns out there's like 3 people I think now who have things
We
to
do.
read. So.
Oh, we do.
Because some people, rubbed it in that they can write in a hurry and went and wrote something in like 5 minutes and came back and said, I got something now.
That's just wrong. Oh my God.
Yes, it
is.
Now, I will tell you guys, the bit I read last week, I had wanted your, and I still do, want your comments on it, and I don't have it online yet. I'm working on, like I said, I've been doing a lot of work on a website that I'm been making public here shortly, and I'm going to be redoing, hopefully, in the next, I don't know, within the next week anyway, a lot of the Kiss for Luck page or website. And I will be putting things on there because we got the blog built in there already, so we can start posting. I will put a little writing section for us in there so we can start posting our stuff and giving comments on each other's things. So it will come within, hopefully before next week when we meet up again. But I don't have it online yet, and I haven't had the time. Yeah. So who in Raid Call has got something to read? Costa, you first.
I've wrote something as well.
Oh,
okay.
Goodness. So we have 4 things.
That's awesome. Okay. Costa, do you have a mic? Are you ready? Are you able to do this? I would prefer not to. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Okay, no pressure. That is not a problem.
We misunderstood.
I'll get you next time. If I can get up here and do this big screen, darling, I got no mercy on anybody. We'll get you next time.
She'll work on you.
So, Color Slide, you're next.
Megan can go first.
Everyone's backing out now.
Okay.
Fine.
Read.
It's gonna suck. This warning.
Well, did you just write this
Yes.
now?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Before I needed to hear something to inspire me. Okay. So the air was stale, the particles floating through the cracked window. It was hard to see through the veil of darkness with the moon hung low in the dreary night sky. I could almost taste the dry grass on the breeze.
See, no, that's exactly what I was saying. Do something that's descriptive and give us a feeling. So, I mean, I don't know the setting. I don't know anything in there, any part of this, but you got that feeling of closeness and it's dusty. I mean, it actually triggered some things in my head. So that's exactly the kind of thing I was talking about. And there will be homework this week too, guys. And you hang on to that. You can rewrite if you want to add to it or things like that. And as soon as I get the website up, then everybody can post their homework over there, so that we can actually have, some feedback from people where you can write in things that you liked or didn't like or that you'd like to see expanded. And quite frankly, of course, this was very small. I would have liked to see a lot expanded. So get on it there, Chicky Poo.
Well, no pressure.
No pressure. Just do more. No, but it did. It gave you those feelings. Like you started getting images in your head, and that's exactly what descriptive writing should be doing. Yeah. So perfect.
Yay.
Color?
Alright, Greg, your turn.
I think I might have misunderstood slightly what we were to do.
That's okay.
Mine's is kind of the start of a short story, I guess.
Well, that's okay, because there should be something there that's going to give us images anyway, so go for it.
It's quite descriptive, so... right. My senses strained at the bright computer screen as I sat in my darkened bedroom. My bloodshot eyes throbbed with exhaustion, and my body begged for the luxury of sleep. I wasn't entirely sure as to why I was refusing to give in to my body's primal urge to rest, but I knew I couldn't. The room around me was dark and cold. My icy fingers softly embraced the computer keyboard, but my brain refused to make them move. My neck was stiff and my shoulders aching. I can sense its malevolent eyes upon me. Can't move.
That was cool.
Again,
yeah,
yes. I mean, it was incredibly descriptive. Everybody in this list has been there.
They understood everything
we got this
you just
one.
said.
Yeah, and now it's like, okay, why isn't he leaving? What's he doing? That how you, was it, you said you caressed, or the gentleness on the keyboard?
Softly embraced.
Yeah, it's like, okay, whoa, he's trying to, oh my goodness, what? Yeah, bazillion questions there. So good. That's actually, I like, that's good.
It's like too tired and cold to leave the keyboard, but too tired and cold to do anything at the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was awesome.
I was waiting for you to talk about, your build in Minecraft,
Because that's probably the reason you're stuck at the keyboard, let's be honest.
So I want to hear, more of the story. I think I like it. Pokes, did you have something? Anybody else?
Yes, I did.
Good. You're next.
Alright, this is what I wrote for a D&D campaign that never failed to happen. Or failed to happen. But here goes. The fire burns warmly but casts a little light into the mentor's shadow. The flickering shadows only a hint at the vast number of books and rolls that fill the many shelves. Slowly Mentor walks over to the fire. Well, my friends, your training is complete. You are not heroes. You have yet to prove yourself. But first, let me tell you of Mascar. Many centuries ago, Mascar was my apprentice. He worked hard and learned quickly, but impatience devoured him and he wanted to learn more powerful magic. I told him of the many dangers and that he should be patient for the time he would become a great wizard. But Morcar could not wait. Each night he broke into my study and read my spell books. The secrets that were held within, they were great. Indeed, once he had learned these secrets, Morcar fled.
Okay, cool. And again, we've got the flickering light, and you get these images in your head. I love the fact that he was stealing into their books. We get the books at night. You got a lot there. Again, you've got there's a book there if you wanted to expand on this. Absolutely. And I'm going to say this again, especially for Heg Yorkie. He keeps talking about this short story he has, and I'm telling you, dude, it's a novel. And that's one thing about a short story. It's not just a shorter story. Oddly enough, a short story is just about a moment in time when something changes. That's all it is. And we can take any of these ideas and make them into that, but a short story is just when something changes. It's that moment in life where you take a step you hadn't, where you face a fear, where something hits you that had never happened before, and you stood up and took care of it, or where something like that's happened. And while we need to know a little bit of backstory and a little bit about where it's going, if you bring up enough questions that don't get answered, now you have a novel. And Yorkie, you has a novel, darling. I love it, but it's bigger. I need more. So I think we'll probably, could you type it in here and Ava could read it? Yeah, I mean, Costa, if that is something you're willing, if you just do a copy paste in there, I'd love to. I would absolutely love to. And he did. Okay, God bless you. Is this all of it? Or should I wait for more to come? Well, I'll start with this part and see how it goes. So this is it, and that's all I want. That's all I want us to do is like little parts, like you guys have done. That's exactly it. So color. You've got Wicked Fairy. You've got that. I'm wondering why it's so dry and why it's so dusty, and you've got some smells going on, and you've got an atmosphere sitting there, which is, the description was exactly what we were looking for. Color, you had some really good description, and you took it a little further and started asking, you got us asking the questions, why is he doing that? Where's the tension? Where's the problem? Oh my goodness. So, obviously, like you said, that's the great beginning to a story. Pokes, you were setting it up as more of a like an overview because of what you were doing. That was perfect for the venue that you were using. If you're going to take that and turn it into a book, then you make it a little more personal. How am I going to say that? I'm trying to think how to say it. We have stories that are narrated to us, and we have a person telling us about what's happening. And then we learn about the narrator. We learn about the person whose voice we're hearing, you know, who's actually telling us the story. If it's going to be about the people in the story, get into their heads even more. You know, tell us how they feel. Yeah, and we will be talking about that color slide, about, you know, first person, third person, and the rest of it. You know, how, and they've all got their benefits, certainly, and you have to kind of decide, you know, which one it is you're trying to do. There's no right or wrong way. I mean, there's absolutely no right or wrong way. It's just what is your end result going to be. But I'm going to read something now by Costa. The little robot admired the man. I love it. The man was his creator, having built him out of whatever parts he was able to salvage. He had 4 pivoting wheels, which allowed him to move around freely. He had 2 narrow pincers that could grip and hold with precision. And he had a clear domed head containing a single lens that could focus far into the distance. Despite the technical achievements of his design, the little robot could not speak. The audio components of his internal operating system were dedicated to one purpose, emitting a high-frequency distress signal out into deep space. But there had been so far no response to their call.
That was really sad.
Oh, it's like, oh my goodness!
I got really
sad. Take care of the little guy.
Oh.
Okay, see, now you set us up, you know, having this cute little guy, and then you realize he can't talk, but it sounds like he wants to. It's
yeah.
Like, okay, that's, you know, the guys, all 4 of these have had some really nice, strong, wonderful points to them, and I'm really hoping they get developed. And DMAC just remembered an unfinished short story. So many other things to work on. Well, you know what, we all do. And if we're going to be writers, then, you know, we write, and if we're not, then still be the awesome mod. We have Essentia Maxima and Demoniac Maxima. So you guys are great. I am going to the Appleby Horse Fair in June this year, and I wrote something a while back. Now I'm only going to read the first paragraph of it, and I don't know, and then I'll post it, or I'll just read you a chapter every week to get you guys ready for what I'm going to be doing this year. Oh my God.
I think you're still recording, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
Intentionally?
Yeah, because I'm just going to put the whole thing. I don't make this one short. I'm not trying to maximize, you know, YouTube views with this. If you miss this, you can go over and watch it. That's all it is. This is our private club.
They will be happy about that.
Okay. So, firelight painted its warm glow on their skin. Smoke drifted lazily into the midnight sky to mingle with glittering stars. The sound of a guitar filled the night air, and the soft neigh of a horse in the near distance seemed to answer its exotic strum. A male voice joined in, and a passionate song painted the darkness with visions of heartbreak and lonely journeys across Balkan landscapes. The music didn't break the silence and mystery of the nebulous countryside surrounding the camp. It seemed to enhance it. Men with rolled-up shirt sleeves and women in long, colorful skirts found themselves swaying gently to the music. They'd only traveled 17 miles that day, but they had been slow miles, unaccustomed miles. They were tired but unwilling just yet to remove themselves from each other's company. When most of us think of vacations, worlds like resorts, beaches, parties, flights, hotels, and ratings are the ones that spring to mind. Few think, I'll be a gypsy now. That isn't the world we live in, but it could be. And then there's more. But
I like that.
Anyway. And then I talk about the Appleby Horse Fair. Oh my God. Okay. The laptop. Oh, Scotty, the laptop. I am looking at laptops, and I'm trying to find something that's going to allow me to stream, do live streaming while I'm over there. I want to sit at the Appleby Horse Fair, and if I can connect to, you know, whatever, or, you know, take videos, and I've got a great camera, does really nice videos to get back to my room that night, and you know, upload it for you guys and do a lot of things like that. So I'm looking for, you know, a decent laptop, and I'm kind of at that point where the things I need, I want to hear more. Mwah, thank you, Blood. That's what I want to hear. I'll read some more next week. I'll read some more next week. The laptop, I'm at a place where what I want, I still can't quite afford, but I know I have to buy one because you guys have made so many amazing donations. I'm waiting for a sale. I haven't bought the one I want because I can't actually pay for it just yet, but but I will. I know I have to buy one. You guys have given me far too much money to not buy one. I'm going to. I'm buying a laptop. I just haven't gotten the one yet. I tell you when I do, I'll be holding it here in front of the camera.
Oh, yeah. You will know.
You will know.
Yeah, Bless pointing out that you need to do your own audiobooks. That's been said a couple of times last week, too, that everyone loves your voice and the way you read. So whenever you get your books published, you have to push to get them put into audiobooks, and you have to push to be the one to do them.
Oh, good heavens. That's so much work. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. And I am doing a series of... go ahead. Sorry, darling. Go ahead.
It's not the first time, like, you know how you're talking about the audiobooks thing? It's not been the first time when I've just flicked onto the iPad going to bed and then put on one of your videos, and then I'll just fall asleep like halfway through. And not because it's boring, just because you have such a nice voice to listen to. It's like, right, okay, I can sleep now. And a few of my friends have said that as well, like people that you don't know, that like awesome. People that I've sent them to your channel, like, oh, you should watch this girl, and she's like, oh, she has such a nice voice.
Yeah, she does.
And yet, at the same time, your voice doesn't immediately put anyone to sleep.
Yeah.
Like Quill's does.
Quill is so mellow. I know, he's so soft. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
it's so funny, because mellow isn't the first word I think of when I think of Quill.
Oh, yes. I listen to Quill, and it's like, oh, life's so good. You know, it's just, I love it. I love it. So, yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Well, thank you, guys. That's thank you. That's brilliant. But as soon as I find a laptop that will do all the things I needed to do, and like I said, with the housing stuff, it was I had enough to buy my dream laptop, and then it got all taken up in housing. It was a big chunk over what I thought I was going to be able to get. So and the other places that had been less were gone. Now, I can't complain about the place I have because it's kind of not... Awesome, I'm going to feel very wonderful being there, but, you know, it took a lot more money than I thought. Enough to buy a laptop. A nice one. So, there was one on sale last week somewhere I was thinking about, and then they sold out before I could hit the button, literally. Like, it was, that was too bad. And I found another one I would like a lot, but... yeah, I can't. I'm just hoping it goes on sale pretty quick. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. I don't know. No, Briarstone, your voice is like a big TV dramatic voice. So next week homework, guys. Find any 2 fairy tales you like and write 2 or at least 1. Okay, write 1. 1 synopsis for a fairy tale. 100 words. Oh, we're only talking about
cool.
Like a paragraph.
That's fun.
100 word synopsis of a fairy tale. So, think in terms.
Bullshit, that's what I'm writing.
There already. You go. There you go. Yeah. Then you're ahead of the rest of us. So, write a 100 word synopsis for any fairy tale you choose. Just look at a story and figure out how to break it down. Fairy tale, a book, a fantasy, whatever it is you want. Just make sure 100 words that tells us what the actual story is about, because that's what you got to do for your own story. If you can't do that, you probably don't know what your story is yet. And I am going to stop for about 5 minutes, and we got some games to play. I don't even know what I'm playing. What are we doing? What are we doing today? What do you guys want to see? You guys are already here. What do you want to see in terms of gaming?
You've done SimCity on Wednesdays before. You have Sims 3 up now again as an option.
Yeah. Can you get a signed copy when my books come out? Absolutely. And the guys are the donation things. I am doing the stickers. I love that idea. The back of my laptop's gonna have the different rates of like all your names and stuff all over the place. Ooh, oh, look, he posted something.
Zen just wrote something. He said a little while ago that he was gonna write something, but I thought he was kidding. Just because it was like, on the fly, I was going to go do this.
You know what? I'll bet you.
I guess he wasn't kidding.
The donation shortcuts. I probably didn't open the thing again. Because I'm just that smart.
Oh, Oh, well, that one's showing up.
What?
Wait.
That can't
be right.
Be right.
Oh, Grey Lady.
That can't.
No, it's showing up there now. Wow. Oh my god.
Oh, damn.
I don't get speechless very often. Holy jeez.
Okay. There you go. I don't even know how to say thank you. I mean, thank you is just so not enough. Good God. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. So Scotty, Flying Scotsman was the, you guys gotta quit doing this to me while I'm still taping for YouTube. That is just absolutely incredible. Flying Scotsman was the first guy that put a big, he was the first donation, and I thought, I always name my computers. Thank you. And I thought, well, I'll call the laptop Scotty, and now this I'm obviously going to have to call it I don't know, the Gray Scott or something like that.
There you go. I like it.
Oh my goodness gracious, guys, that is I can't handle this. Ava crying is too much to take. Grey Lady, that is just absolutely remarkable.
Zan is saying you should write the donators and his cameos in your book. I like that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I've got plans for you in The Sims 3.
Right? Yeah.
And in other places in Minecraft and stuff like that, but that's a good idea. That's a really, really freaking fabulous idea. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Ava Cameron, I don't know if it's showing up there yet, but it's showing for me. Oh, thank you
guys
so much, darling. Okay, we gotta copy this. Oh, you have it there permanently, right? For Zen Triggers thing?
Well, not permanently, but I can get it, yes.
Oh, the cloud cramped sky. See? Oh, I like that. It's gonna keep flipping. So we're gonna have to read it from over here. Grey Lady, thank you so incredibly much. The Gray Scott. Yeah, the Gray Scott. That's a laptop. I just take it to bed with me. No kidding. Yeah, big sticker. Grey Lady gets one big sticker all by herself. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness gracious. Grey Lady, I thank you. Thank you. I obviously have got to buy a computer pretty soon so I can show it off to you guys.
Well, she's a bit closer to being able to do that now.
Just was a big chunk of, oh my goodness. And Ava Cameron, yours too. Thank you very much, guys. This is beautiful.
Yeah, no kidding.
So let me read this before we stop and go play games. Were there comments? I got all drippy and didn't see anything.
There was a lot of, wow, Grey Lady, you're amazing. A lot of people like the idea of calling your computer Gray Scott.
Lady Scott. Yes, the Gray Scott. Sounds kind of nice. I like it. Gray Scott.
She's saying no sticker needed. Enjoy.
Oh, no, darling. I'm going to be traveling. This thing, I was talking to Briarstone the other day, and I said, this is such a big thing, and people are helping me buy this thing, and it's got to be a lot more than just that trip. I have got to find a way to take this and turn it into something that really makes a difference to you guys. It's got to be, going for events. I've got to take it out and find a way to make it part of your lives, in the channels and stuff like that. And, future trips, with any luck at all, there'll be a road trip coming up in the not too distant future to meet a bunch of you guys who are in North America. And, that thing that's going to be coming along right along with it. And I want the stickers on. I want to stop in a coffee shop somewhere and people are going to say, what are all those stickers? And I'm going to say, those are the amazing freaking people you meet on the internet.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that the internet is not a real place to make friends, because all these little things, you know it. You know it. So, no, I want to be out there singing your praises to the whole freaking world. That's amazing. So let's read Zen Trigger's thing and then go. The cloud-cramped sky was rolling. Purple and gray bore testament to the anger and sorrow it seemed to feel. Wrathful, bitter winds tore across the naked treetops. Wailing and shrieking they went, carrying the brittle, crumbling remains of a greener season. I like that line.
I like that, yeah.
Lightning rent the darkened heavens, spreading like luminescent spider webs, showing only for an instant before disappearing into a percussion of thunder. Shards of ice fell silent as they flew upon the winds. They landed with sharp cries and cracks, peppering the landscape and covering anything not fast enough to be under cover. The tempest tore the landscape apart, painting it anew.
Ooh, dramatic.
You guys
It's a
have
serious storm going on there.
all written this stuff today.
Yeah, during the
Like-
stream, most of it.
Oh, Pokes You to Death, Banff National Park. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
In
definitely on the road trip
Belgium.
list.
Yeah, see, I gotta get over there.
Denmark.
I gotta
and
get over there.
all the
Yeah.
places.
I want to meet every one of you guys so bad. This is going to be my goals for the rest of, the rest of my life, right? All my vacations are going to be, where can I meet that person?
Yeah.
Where can I meet that person?
What corner of the world have I not visited
Yeah.
recently?
Instead of a UK tour, shall we just do European? Yeah, we just do it.
Do all
Could. Yeah.
Just hop on a train.
Oh, you know how to tug
Oh.
at her heartstrings, don't you?
You
said the magic word.
First of all, I love trains. If you want to hop a train when I'm there and go somewhere else, I don't have any idea how I'm paying for this trip, but I have really good credit. So I'll be paying for it for the rest of my life. But
Forever.
the only things you ever regret are the things you didn't do.
Oh.
That's the only things you'll never regret doing it and having to deal with it, but you will always regret not having done it. So the Demonac is putting some writing in here already. I'm going to save that too. I am going to do my best to get the Kiss for Luck all ready for all our writing stuff this week.
Okay.
So we can start popping these things in there and actually, be able to get some use from them. So we can take that information and turn it into a better piece of writing. So absolutely.
Liam is also saying he has a couple sentences from a novel he's working on. Can he share?
Certainly. Absolutely.
Okay.
If you did you want to post it or come into raid call, or it looks like this writing thing is getting more
Popular?
interesting than the gaming thing.
Yeah, did you see how many viewers you've got going on?
Oh
For
my
the writing
goodness.
stream?
For the private little club that nobody needs to know about. That's awesome.
No one but you, 43 people watching.
Well, that's okay.
Well, wasn't it 46 last week?
Maybe.
Been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. So I'll be moving around. Ava, you'll have to catch up. Okay, what is this, Scotty? I'll be moving around. Where are you going? I like catching up. Catching up is good.
She can do that. Oh, and Liam's going to put it in the chat.
Lovely.
There it is.
As I stepped off the hover ship, I was welcomed with a stingy smell of sulfur. Ah, don't you just love the smell of sulfur in the morning, lad? I didn't acknowledge the thing behind me. Oh, I don't belong with them. Code, please, said the Imperial Guard. I lifted my right sleeve and showed the guard my arm, and then there's the code. So
That
we get
thing behind
yeah,
me.
see that thing. I was like, what? Why did we? Yeah, you got the. It's good.
Intrigue.
Again. And did you just do this too, Liam? Is this just something fast you've put together? Toxic, hello. Absolutely love the writing thing. I do too. This is brilliant. This is so much fun, guys. You're gonna actually help me get a book completed this year. God, oh my God, this is so exciting. So exciting.
You could do a collection of short stories from the viewers of A Kiss for Luck.
Oh,
Hey.
you're giving me goosebumps. Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, that's good, guys. That's really good.
Liam said, yeah, I wrote it in about 5 minutes, and then is asking if anybody knows what the binary code means. I do not.
I used to. I don't now. I used to actually be able to read that stuff because I was teaching it. I actually could read it, but I don't anymore. Not at all. Neuralosa, hello. Somebody know what the writing are? Maybe more excited to start writing again. See, I've heard that a couple of times. I've been reading that in here tonight. Maybe I can get a book finished. I'm more excited to write again. guys, I love this idea of a series of short stories. We could pick a theme, we could pick something, and have and we will talk about that on the website. I'll put up a post that's just about discussing what we could do, and the idea of having Timber, of having a series of short stories actually get published by the people in this channel.
And that's sort of like,
oh my God,
short stories by different authors, but in a similar vein, a similar theme.
Yes,
it's actually kind of popular right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Gaiman's doing it with people. Yeah. And, I mean, all kinds of big name authors are doing it with all kinds of people. So it's like
the first time I read something like that, it was I think there were 3 or 4 books published, but the first was called Tales from the Vulgar Unicorn, and it was a pub. It was a pub in a fantasy world called the Vulgar Unicorn, and everybody just had to write something that tied in with that somehow. You just had to have the pub in there, and it was absolutely, it was fun. I wish I had Ava teaching assembly course at university. I made it fun. Yeah, it's exciting. It was fun. It was exciting. So anyway, I'm going to end the YouTube part of this stream if I can find where my stuff is. And yeah, I figured the S's weren't part of it. Yeah, we knew that. So for those of you in YouTube who didn't get a chance to see this, or join us for the live stream, I hope there's some part of this that has helped you and is encouraging you to get out there and get some stuff on paper, get some stuff in type, get your keyboard flying, get the pens going, take a notepad and go to the part. Whatever works for you. You are the people in this channel and the people I have met doing this you're so intelligent and you are so creative, and they're creative, if I can talk. Let's hope I write better than I can talk. You deserve to be heard. So let's make that happen together this year. Good times. So until I see you next time, live your life happy, build it beautiful. Bye-bye.